Now it's time for a new strand. Every tournament we'll be speaking to Tennis Magazine journalist Peter Bodo to give us his thoughts on the week's tennis. So, first of all, what did Peter make of the Pacific Life Open?
Well, it's been a terrific tournament. I think the order has been re-established here in a pretty big way. You've got all the usual suspects turning up in the semis and finals, just like you kind of expected on both men's and the women's side. It's been a great event. I think, that little lag time between the Australian Open and now, there's a lot of stuff going on, different places in the world. Nothing seems to have that overwhelming importance, but here we are. It's like big time once again.
It's been a really bad week for the fans' favourite, Andy Roddick, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say a guy had a bad week when he's won two events like he did recently in San Jose and in Dubai. So, I think probably Andy's not too upset himself, even though his fans probably are. But, I think he's actually played well here. He's got a chance to save himself, in Miami at his sort of his home tournament there. So I'm expecting him to bounce back pretty well next week.
But Blake's and Fish's performance kind of made up for that, right?
Well, I think Blake and Fish will leave here holding their heads pretty high. James had a great match with Nadal here the other night. Seemed to run out of steam a little bit at the end there, so I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of a fitness issue for James. Could be. On the other hand, with Marty, it's all been good. He's been at the fringes. The guy always seems to be on the verge of a breakthrough. He's had trouble closing matches, had a little bit of a tendency to choke. But again, he's going to leave here with a lot of good feelings about himself, and he's got a big game. He could be a factor later on in the year.
Federer, Djokovic and Nadal all had good weeks. It appears the top three in the men's game are way ahead of everyone else. Do you think that this will be the case for a long time now?
It seems that Novak Djokovic has now joined that party at the top that was previously reserved for Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. I think those three guys are here to stay, basically. Rafael Nadal has been showing here that he's really got what it takes to fight and win on hard courts. And really one of the big issues for a guy like him who's a clay court player is whether they really care about the hard court season and the hard court tournaments. And he's shown that he really does. Roger, he's bounced back from a little bit of a glitch there. He had a little trouble in Australia, had mononucleosis. But he's coming back and made a couple big statements here early on in the early going. So he's really firing on all cylinders once again. And Novak Djokovic, this is when it gets interesting for him because this is where he started to make his move that brought him to the top last year. He was a finalist here. He ended up winning Miami. And he's going to feel some pressure defending his places here, but so far he's been doing a pretty good job.
Looking ahead to Miami, what are your hopes for that tournament?
Well, it's kind of funny. You get these two big Master Series events back to back, and you're kind of hoping a new storyline emerges from each of them. Past couple of years, the storyline's been pretty similar. Roger Federer and can anybody catch him? I think as much as I love Roger, it'd be nice to avoid the Tiger Woodsification of tennis and have a couple of guys step up. And I really have kind of high hopes for Tsonga now. I'm looking at Blake actually, and also Marty Fish in a resurgence. You got some guys out there who can really play. You had Ferrero actually is playing very well these days. Andrich is coming back from injury. I'd really like to see these top guys, maybe see two of them lose in the second, third, fourth round. Would really make things pretty exciting and really sort of jump the season into high gear.
So that's it from Peter Bodo and his thoughts on the Pac Life Open. We'll have more from him next week in Miami.